Smith, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about life with a child that has asthma. I never really knew too much about asthma until I had my son. I never knew about all the different medications and the wheezing and the shortness of breath or like the gasping of air, all that comes along with asthma. So today I'm going to tell you about some of the daily struggles that comes along with it, like the everyday situations and what to do to prevent and treat asthma. Asthma is a chronic inflammatory disease of the airways. This inflammation causes the airways to spasm and swell periodically so that the airways narrow. When that happens, the individual usually starts wheezing or gasping for air. Now that you know a little bit about asthma, I'm going to tell you some of the everyday situations that we deal with on a daily basis with our son having asthma. Living with a child that has asthma can become very difficult. So one of the main things that you have to pay attention to is judging whether or not your child is getting enough air. One of the ways we notice if our child is not getting enough air is he starts to hum. He doesn't hum any other time. The only time he starts to hum is when he's not getting enough air. Another way is we'll pull up his shirt, and if we see his chest pulling in, that indicates to us and lets us know that he's not getting enough air. Another thing about a child with asthma is trips to the ER. If you ever been to an emergency room, you know that the waiting times and all the confusion and all that stuff can get ridiculous. But usually when you get back there in the room, the doctor or the nurse comes in to check your child to make sure he's breathing correctly or to see what's wrong, what's going on. Next, you usually take a breathing treatment. After the breathing treatment, usually about 5 or 10 minutes, the doctor or the nurse comes back in, checks your child, and if everything is okay, no wheezing, no gasping of air, you usually get the green light to go home. Worst case scenario, you have to get admitted into the hospital. Next, I'm going to tell you about a little something about how to prevent and treat your child's asthma. Prevention and treatment of asthma is a very important part in keeping your child's asthma under control. The first thing is you have to have an asthma action plan. As far as dealing with the asthma action plan, it gives you 3 steps of what to follow whenever your child's asthma starts to act up. The first step is green. Green indicates that everything is going good. You have no wheezing, no shortness of breath, no nothing. Everything is fine. Your child is normal. The second level is yellow, which indicates that your child is having a little bit of wheezing, a little bit of shortness of breath, and you have to start giving him his medications. The last level is red, which indicates that none of the medications are working. So therefore, you need to call his doctor or take him to the nearest hospital or emergency room. Treatment is another part in keeping your child's asthma under control. When dealing with medications, you want to make sure you let the doctors know your child's age, the symptoms, and what triggers his or her asthma. That's important because when it comes down to dealing with the medications, every medication is different for every age. You want to make sure that the doctor is giving your child the right medications because you don't want to wait. You don't want to give them the wrong information and then it hurts your child later on down the line. The 3 main medications that we know about is Pulmicort, albuterol, and Flovent. Pulmicort and Flovent are steroids that you can take on a daily basis, even when everything is going good. And that also helps to control your child's asthma. Albuterol is sometimes called the rescue medication because that's what you turn to whenever the Pulmicort and the Flovent isn't working. In my conclusion, asthma can be a very tricky thing. Even though it seems like everything is going good, you have no shortness of breath, no wheezing, no nothing, you still want to make sure that you stay on top of your child's medications. Because whenever his asthma starts to act up, the medication is already in his system. As time goes on, you learn how to deal with and treat and prevent your child's asthma. Also, you will learn what triggers and sets off his asthma and how to live and deal with a child with asthma. Thank you for your time. Thank you.